This is KCHW 102.7.
We are two wild and crazy guys.
Two Jedi have landed in the main hangar bay. We're tracking them.
I told you about them two.
Always two. There are a master and an apprentice.
Go. I'll stall them long enough for you two to get a head start.
These are the boys that were brought to trial.
They went free that very day.
Yeah, looks pretty bad. Two of them are over here.
They may think it's twice as safe because there are two of them. But it isn't twice as safe. It's 10 times twice as dangerous.
There's two of them. One of them's got a gun. Did you pay the gas bill?
So, oh, two of them?
Well, yeah, you know we have two of them.
The only way we're going to get those two to successfully mate is if they are alone together.
Oh, one gorilla, two gorillas. Big deal.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. It is the KCHW Morning Show. It is Thursday, July 18th. Here, Chuck Ritchie. That's me. And we're here with Scott Allen. Good morning.
That's me.
That's you. How are you?
Wow. Wow.
I almost introduced you as Chuck, and then I had to remind myself that is, in fact, myself. Yeah.
Well, maybe one day no one will be able to tell the difference.
Right?
Okay.
I think maybe they can. I don't know. You've got a lot more hair than I do. I think that's probably the biggest giveaway.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And that's really the only reason people can tell us apart.
Yes.
Yeah.
One has hair, one doesn't.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much it.
All right. I'm on the Starship Enterprise today because we got some spacey guests coming in at 8 o'clock that Chuck set up. Who's coming to visit the studio today?
We're going to have Rockabilly Space Force with us today. They are going to be performing up at the golf course this weekend. I saw they were playing, and I checked them out, and I was really excited. And they seem like a cool group of guys, and I just wanted to get them on the show. So
I'm really excited because on their Facebook page, it shows like some of their promotional materials and photos. Mm-hmm. Show them with space helmets.
Yes. No, I listen to their music. It's good. They've got a good energy. I'm excited to go see them this weekend.
All right.
So I don't know if you're familiar with a band called the Aquabats, but that's kind of the vibe they give off. They're a ska band, but they're like a superhero themed ska band.
Ooh.
Yeah, and they're not local, but they've been around for 20, 30 years now, but they even had a show on Nickelodeon for a while. There's
a steampunk band. We play a couple songs of them on the radio station, and I should know their name, and it's escaping me right now. It'll probably come to me. But we have a couple of their songs we play at night, and they're out of Seattle, and they do a whole stage show that's really filled with special effects. Mm-hmm. And just because that whole steampunk thing, all their garb, it was steampunk. I mean, it's got a small cult following. Steampunk movies like Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow, Around the World in 80 Days, movies where it's set in the past, maybe even the 1800s, but they have some quirky modern technology, mm-hmm. and that band out of Seattle has embraced it. Oh, it's making me really mad. I can't remember their name. I can remember one of the songs is called Airship Pirates.
Okay. That sounds
plays at night. Right. Yeah. But they are totally amazing. So these guys sound exciting too.
They are. I've had some friends that got really into the steampunk thing, so far as to have steampunk weddings, and one of them built a trailer that was like this big rounded steampunk sort of thing with pipes and stuff coming off the side. And I mean, it's all cosmetic. You go inside, it just looks like an RV, but the outside was done up really cool.
That's what this band out of Seattle does. Mm-hmm. Is all their equipment is totally tweaked.
Yeah.
To look steampunk, special lights on it, and a very sci-fi leaning, I would say.
And what was the name of the song, Scott?
Airship Pirates.
Airship Pirates. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to look that up.
You're going to look that up. Good, you're going to save me from not remembering what the name of the band is, because it'll absolutely bug me the rest of the show, I'm sure.
It would bug me too. Is it Abney Park?
Abney Park. Thank you so much. They actually came and played the Knitting Factory once in Spokane, and I wasn't able to go. I was so disappointed. Their music kind of ranges almost from pop to alternative to really rockin' stuff. It's pretty impressive.
I think that's one of those where we have the actual name of the song recorded in it, so it gets after it plays, it says Abney Park. But I think that's one of them that says the name of the song afterwards. Yeah.
Right. And then they have another one. I think it plays once in a while during the day that people might have heard called "Sleep Isabella Sleep."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really dreamy. That's Abney Park, and phenomenal lead singer and band. So good stuff to check out if you're a music aficionado.
Yeah.
All right. So, should we do some weather this morning? And did you have news you were going to do?
Well, the news isn't quite ready yet, but we did just play the previous
last broadcast.
The last
from yesterday?
broadcast. Yeah, before we started here, that
right.
went out.
Weather-wise, then, you're not going to want to hear this. 99 today with plenty of sunshine, down to 63 tonight. That's a good spread. That's almost 40 degrees before the sun comes back up. 103 and 64 for Saturday. 107 for Sunday. You're not even going to want to go outside this weekend. Wow.
No.
105 for Monday. It's the lucky people that got a place at the lake. And if you have a friend that has a place at the lake, I'd talk really nice to them because that's where you might want to spend your day is like one of those umbrellas that clamp onto your lawn chair, and then place your lawn chair in the water.
You know, I've got some good friends in this weather. They're like, oh, that means we got to go out to the lake. And me, no, I'm gonna pull up a chair in front of the air conditioner and get some iced tea and sit inside in the dark like a mushroom.
You kind of look pasty. If you're like out in the sun all day, do you turn into a tomato?
Oh, wow. Actually, I don't. The weird thing is I don't burn. I rarely burn. I do tan fairly easily, but I just choose not to.
Oh, all right.
I have a very small range of comfort, Scott.
Okay. It's like 75 to 80.
Pretty much. I was going to say it's about a 5-degree difference. You know, I'll go so far as 70 to 80 is comfortable. Yeah.
All right, looking ahead to next week, a little bit of a break in the weather forecast. Now, Monday will still be 105. Tuesday, now sunshine continues. There's no rain in that forecast. Sunshine continues. Tuesday, it'll drop down to 93. Wednesday, 95. By Thursday, mid-80s. And then low 90s for next weekend. So next weekend looking a little better. 29th of July. 1% chance of rain.
Woohoo!
1%. They actually put it on. There's going to be one stray cloud that moves through the county that might have some water in it.
Well, I was talking with you a little bit earlier before the show. Yesterday was cloudy all day. It was cloudy. We had a dust storm, and there were warnings of dry lightning. And the fire danger, we were in I forget what they called it, but it was a red something alert. Warning us that we would have dry lightning strikes hitting the ground. I heard a little bit of thunder, but I have not heard any reports of any fires or anything coming from it. And that was one of the big concerns, is that with the lightning strike, it would cause such a intense fire that they wouldn't be able to get ahead of it, and it would expand quicker than the DNR could get to it.
I bet. That's the sad thing, is sooner or later that's going to happen. Somebody's going to do something stupid. Some kid's going to shoot off some leftover fireworks. I remember one of the fire seasons we had, and I was going from Kettle Falls to the Chewelah, and I'm just coming into Colville there before that Y, and from Kettle Falls, and there are some kids shooting off fireworks on the side of the freeway.
Oh,
they were off the freeway on their own property, but shooting off fireworks, and I'm like, wow, somebody better call 911.
There was, we had a good 4th of July, and luckily there were no fires. We weren't quite in the extreme fire danger that we are now on the 4th of July, but last week when it hit 105, outside, hearing fireworks going off down the street. Kids, whoever letting off leftover fireworks, and it just, I think
so if you're a parent,
I think I heard shouting at them. I think everybody in the neighborhood came out and said, "Stop it! Knock it off!"
If you're a parent and there's leftover fireworks in the house, you should probably hide them like a gun, because little boys cannot help themselves. Just saying. You can't.
No.
I'm still a little boy.
Right?
I know.
Yeah, just save them for New Year's.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
When there's a little snow on the ground.
Right. Hopefully we'll get some snow this year.
That takes care of weather. Let's move on to events. We're looking at a Thursday. That means the food bank's open 10 to 2. Senior Citizens Potluck and Games between 10 and 3.
Yep.
And then tomorrow we've got the Chihuahua Farmers Market happening between 11 and 3:30. And something cool at the library. I wanted to touch this.
Yeah.
It's a Chihuahua library. It's called Leave No Trace with the National Park Service. Learn how to leave no trace and practice the principles to respect and protect parks, and you will earn a Junior Ranger badge. So this is for Chuck.
Yeah, I was hoping I could go and get one of those badges for myself.
Yes.
I'm not.
That happens at 11 o'clock today. So fun for the kids. Take them down to the library, nice and cool in there.
Yeah.
And learn about how to respect our parks.
I'm not sure if they would give an adult a Junior Ranger badge, but I bet you I could go there and give them my little doughy eyes and hold my hand out, and they'd put one in it.
Back when our chief worked for the county as a sheriff's deputy, he once gave me a badge sticker.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did you save it?
My favorite line was he was showing me his new Dodge Sheriff's truck, and I said, "Can I see in the back?" And I said, "Can I sit in there? But don't close the door. I'm claustrophobic. It looks really small and it's caged." And he let me sit in the back of the truck. And I said, "I've never been in the back of a police cruiser." And he said, "I find that surprising."
I remember when my dad was a police officer as a kid, doing parades because he was the chief of police in West Richland. I would sit in the back of the car during parades with the window down, throwing candy out, and it was
looking forlorn.
Yeah, it was always fun. It was an experience for sure.
All right, would you like to roll out? There's a lot of stuff happening Saturday again. Would you like to roll it out?
I will. And for the second week in a row on the calendar here, we have the Fun in the Sun vendor fair that's happening in the park downtown. And then what we have the bike show that's going to be at the casino from 12 to 8. That's a big thing. And these are not the bikes that you pedal, although I'm sure you could pedal your bike down there. You might get beat up, but this is a motorcycle show that's happening at the casino. And then from 5:30 to 7:30, the Rusty Putter is featuring live music with Rockabilly Space Force.
I once saw this bike, and it was the most impressive, homemade bike I'd seen. It was a chopper. And a bike salve. It had nitrous on both sides of the driver's seat, nitrous tanks.
Mm-hmm.
And on the front of it, the plate that holds the forks together was customized. And I loved it because I'm a sci-fi geek. And it said, "To boldly go where no man has gone before and get there first."
Nice.
Pretty impressive. All right, cool. Lots of stuff going on. Another fun weekend in the Chihuahua area. And, that park, always cooler in the park with all those trees in the creek. Just saying.
It is. But, yeah, this weekend, though, is still going to be hot. We're still going to be doing the Friday market tomorrow.
Okay.
We'll be there with our booth. We're going to be joined by folks from the Lions Club that are going to be selling ducks for... I know I should remember this. I have a poster sitting in the other room. It is the I know. It is the Anna Schindler Foundation, and what this is an organization. They're in Spokane. They provide clean housing for families of young children with cancer, going through cancer treatment that need. They have immune disorders. They have immune deficiencies, and they need to have a special clean environment. So they provide homes that are near the hospitals for the families to actually live in while they're getting provided treatment that have special.
They're very sanitary.
Yeah,
nice.
They have teams that come in every day and do a specialized cleaning for the kids with that are immune compromised. And that duck race is going to be in the Chihuahua Creek. That's going to happen August 3rd. So it's going to be the duck regatta to benefit the Anna Schindler Foundation, and we're going to be there selling 50/50 tickets for the 50/50 raffle that's going to be drawn during Summerfest, August 3rd.
All right.
Yeah.
And if you're not, which Summerfest is coming up quick too, like end of the month, isn't it?
It's August 3rd.
August 3rd.
August 3rd. We got a great lineup of music, even a little interactive stuff. We're going to have some bluegrass music, some fire dancers. Hopefully we can do the fire dancers.
Sorry, fire band.
I need to check into that one. I don't know if that includes performances, but they do have LED replacements if we can't do the fire. We've got Two Stones, One Bird, which is one of the McQueen bands. as well as Old Souls and Antiques. The headlining band is the On Call Cowboys, which is Chase Champagne's band, and they're a band from Colville. That's really, really great.
Okay.
We've got Monroe Bridge coming. They're a Spokane bluegrass band, and I believe a couple of those band members have played with some pretty big name folks in the bluegrass industry. So yeah, and there's also the Duck Regatta. There's a Little League tournament. There's the Jenkins High School Ice Cream Fun Run happening. There's the car show at the casino. There's the Huck Fest at 49 Degrees, and that's all integrated into Summerfest.
Sounds like exactly what's going on here this weekend. They call it Loon Fest.
Loon Fest.
Loon Fest, because we got a lake right in town with a bunch of loons on it. And that's the town landmark when you come into town. And right before you hit Main Street, there's a T, and right in front of the T is the lake and a giant, I don't know what it's made out of, maybe cement, a giant loon. I don't know. I've tried to steal it. Too big, too heavy.
Tried to kick it, you broke your toe, like those red
People
balls.
sat on it. Yeah.
Like those red balls in front of Target.
Horse.
Yeah.
People sit on it like a horse and take pictures.
Nice,
so,
nice.
Right.
Did they call it the Loon Fest before you came to town?
Yes.
Okay. I thought maybe, Scott's in town now. Things are getting a little loony.
Yeah.
No.
And it's the same kind of thing. You know what these festivals is, the music gets a little depressing for me sometimes because they always forget the rock and roll at these community events. Lots of bluegrass, lots of country, but they forget the rock and roll.
Well, I think I do believe the On Call Cowboys have cowboys in their name, but they are a rock band.
Oh, good.
Yep.
So we actually had a battle of the bands a couple weeks ago, which was like huge for this town. I think 50 people showed up.
Wow.
Yeah. But the bands were amazing, and two of the two top winning bands are performing this weekend. So I'm excited about that. And one of them was heavy metal, so that's going to be a shock for this town. I'm just going to people watch and the looks on their faces when they're grinding away on those guitars.
That is awesome. Well, we had for Chuila's Got Talent, one of our finalists did a Metallica song.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. That was really actually, especially the instruments, man. They were phenomenal. These kids were just dead on. So yeah, it was really good.
All right.
And next weekend on the 27th, this is the big deal, and people have already been around town. The Triangle Park near my house, they've already been out practicing for weeks. Is the Quartzsite 3-on-3 basketball tournament.
I saw that on the calendar. Very cool.
And I'm going to try and get to get Dakota, who is the guy. Is it Dakota? No.
I don't know what you're.
The guy that's organizing it. I'm going to try to get him on next week before the 3-on-3 tournament to discuss it.
Oh, good. Yeah, they might need some last minute signups. Maybe you can get them on Wednesday. Huh?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and they shut down the roads, and it was huge last year, and this year I guess it's even bigger.
And it's going to be a little cooler, so that'll help too.
Yeah. And they've actually been bringing people that do the big 3-on-3 tournament in Spokane are now coming to Chewelah to do this 3-on-3 tournament.
Very cool.
So yeah. There you go.
All right, just a couple news headlines from the Yodel this morning. Of course, third day National Republican National Convention. Ohio Senator J.D. Vance made his first major public address as former President Donald Trump's running mate, where he focused on immigration and foreign policy. He singled out Rust Belt states and promised to commit to the working man by choosing U.S. manufacturers over what he called cheap foreign labor that the Biden administration relied on. Now, here's my problem with that comment. Biden didn't start the farming out of jobs to overseas. That's been done by corporate America. And that's what I hate about politics, is the cheap shots and the blaming of others that have nothing to do with it, and obvious lies. And then what else bothers me is the uneducated that jump up and scream when somebody says something like that, where they should boo.
Yeah.
I don't care what part of it. You should boo. That's a lie. Biden administration didn't start cheap foreign labor. That started in the 80s.
Oh, yeah. Even before then. I mean,
the mass exodus of corporations trying to make a extra dollar off cheap labor and children. And to turn that and say it's one president's fault or another president's fault, that's just lame.
Well, and if you actually look at the numbers in the last, 3 or 4 years, immigration's actually gone down.
Yeah.
Significantly. And most of the numbers being thrown around are just completely pulled out of thin air. They're just made up. They're not real.
Yeah.
And they're easily
research yourself. If you're just taking what somebody's saying, even me, it might not be true.
Most of the stuff they're saying is easily disproven. I mean, not. Yeah. I mean, I do my own research. No, Facebook is not research. Even a quick Google search, not research. You know,
not research.
Yeah, no.
All right.
Check your sources. Check your sources. Always check your sources. Yeah.
Trump has made appearances at the RNC every night so far. Will formally accept the presidential nomination on the convention's final night. Now, President Biden is facing renewed calls from Republicans, including Schumer and Pelosi, asking him to step down in the race. Biden himself tested positive for COVID-19 for a third time, hours after Republican Adam Schiff called for him to drop out. Other major party leaders have also spoken to Biden recently about his ability to run. And I think we got a new slogan, Joe don't want to go. Even his own party doesn't want him, which is just going to devastate, I think, Democratic chances for the election if they keep this up. Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. U.S. military ended use of a temporary pier in Gaza to deliver humanitarian aid. Officials called it a success. Well, despite facing logistical and repair issues, aid is now going to flow through the port of Israel. I don't know if that's safe. Emmy nominations, including the historical drama Shogun, led with the most nods at 25, while The Bear received 23, breaking 30 Rock's record for a comedy.
Wow. The Bear is not a comedy. I don't know if you ever watched it. It's not funny. It's a good show, but it is stressful. It is dramatic. Not a comedy. And they keep winning.
I wonder why they put it in that genre.
I actually know about this. It's a 30-minute show, and there is no category for 30-minute dramas. They automatically go into the comedy category if it's a 30-minute show. And they keep winning. It's an excellent show, but not a comedy. And they keep winning the comedy awards. I just wish they would put it in a category that doesn't take awards away from actual comedies. So.
Let's see. Indiana Fever rookie Caitlin Clark broke the WNBA single-game assist record with 19 assists during the team's matchup against the Dallas Wings. Fever ultimately lost, though, 101-93. First 5 episodes of the final season of Cobra Kai dropped overnight on Netflix.
Have you been watching that? Have you watched any of it?
No.
I haven't watched any of it.
I didn't even like the movies that they're based off of.
I was a kid when those movies came out. I was a huge fan, but I'm not really interested in revisiting that. Daniel as a middle-ager. What's that?
Can you do that bird stance from the movie?
I thought I could when I was a kid. Oh, we all did. We'd stand on fence posts, fall off, injure ourselves. Yeah.
Tip over.
Yeah, pretty much.
Still do. All right. Republican National Convention continues. Here's there's ways if you go online to watch and stream it. Thank you. And finally, in the NBA Summer League, Lakers play the Cavaliers at 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Those are short news headlines, and on to bits and breaks, where Mr. Chuck Ritchie has this morning's opening joke.
I do. So an old man walked into a bar and ordered martini after martini. Each time he removed the olives and placed them in a jar. When the jar was filled with olives and all the drinks consumed, the man started to leave. Excuse me, said the customer, who was confused about what he was doing. What was all that about? Nothing, said the old guy. My wife just sent me out for a jar of olives.
That's one way to get him. That was my code once I turned 21. If I was over at Mom and Dad's and Dad says, I got to run to the store. You want to go with? That meant we were going to the bar. All right. July is hot dog month, Chuck.
It is. I know. My wife would be so mad at me if I did something like that. She'd be mad.
Yeah, Mom usually was. As soon as we came back through the door, she'd say, "You smell like cigarettes and beer."
Oh, weird. Weird, Mom.
That grocery store's so stinky. For hot dog month, are you a fan, Chuck? Do you eat the hot dog?
I have a yes. Yes, I am. It's an addiction, really. It's it's something that I shouldn't love as much as I do as an adult.
All right.
But
Well, Americans are expected to consume more than 20 billion hot dogs this year. Americans typically consume 7 billion hot dogs between Memorial Day and Labor Day alone.
mm-hmm.
Americans will eat 22 million hot dogs in major league ballparks. And on this past 4th of July, Americans enjoyed an estimated 150 million hot dogs. What do you think my doctor told me never to eat last week?
Hot dogs.
It's true.
I will have to put a caveat on that. There is one brand that I eat and one brand only, and the rest of them are kind of trash.
Share it. It's unpaid. Go ahead, share it.
Nathan's. And
Nathan's. I don't think I've ever had one.
They're kosher. Nathan's hot dogs. They're the famous. The Coney Island dog was Nathan's. They actually started. I believe the company started in Coney Island. All the hot dog eating competitions are generally sponsored by Nathan's.
Yeah,
they're kosher. They're a little cleaner, I guess, if you could say that, than the rest of the dogs. I don't know if there are such thing as a cleaner, healthier hot dog, but if there is, it's Nathan's. I believe that's their slogan.
Okay, then. All right. Moving on this morning, we have things you didn't know that were considered bad luck, and me and Chuck will go back and forth on these. Chuck, will you kick it off?
Yeah, and I practice this in my vehicle, especially in this heat. Carrying bananas on a ship. In the 1700s, many ships that were lost or shipwrecked while traveling between Spain and the Caribbean happened to be carrying bananas at the time. So having one on board came to mean bad news.
Oh,
and if you've ever left a banana in your car in 100-degree weather, you will also discover it's bad news.
Okay. Another one you might not know is bad luck. Whistling on a ship or a boat. Letting loose a whistle is supposed to present a challenge to the wind.
Ooh.
You guys could use a little breeze.
Yeah, we could. We sure could. Although yesterday we did have windstorms and dust storms come up because of it, and it wasn't as nice as you would think it was.
Okay.
Yeah. Not
sandblasting is what they call
not
it.
in this weather. Wishing someone happy birthday before their actual birthday. This comes from Germany. They believe that wishing someone a happy birthday before the day itself would cause misfortune to befall everyone involved.
Wow. Wow. Changing your bed on a Friday. According to the old wives' tale, if you turn a mattress on a Friday, you'll be cursed with bad dreams. Another variation says that changing your bed on a Sunday is bad news, too. All I know is pizza before bed, like I did last night, weird dreams.
It's a good thing I rarely change my bed, because then I don't fall on any of those days.
Same thing goes for underwear.
Right.
Yes.
That's why it has two sides, man.
Yeah.
Tuesday the 13th, maybe Friday the 13th is a bringer of bad luck. Maybe that's just a matter of perspective. While Anglo-Saxon culture see Friday the 13th as bad news, in Spain, the 13th day of the month is more unlucky when it falls on a Tuesday. In Spanish, the word for Tuesday is martes, which comes from Mars, the Roman god of war. So Tuesday spells trouble.
Oh, Chuck, I just have to inform you, I got to start taking Tuesdays off now, too. I'm only going to work one day, and it's called Hums Day.
All right, but it's coming out of your pay.
Oh, well, that's easy. Mixing beers. Czech Republic is the country that consumes the largest quantity of beer per capita, so it makes sense there would be some unwritten rules and superstitions associated with having a beer. Supposedly, if you pour one type of beer into a mug containing another type, you're in for misfortune.
Ooh, a lot of times I do like, you go to especially a brew pub, and you combine different types of beers, and it's really yummy. Okay. So maybe that explains my luck, Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop that.
I should.
Yeah.
In Serbia, if you compliment a baby, if you say it's cute or sweet, you risk dooming the baby to a lifetime of bad luck.
Sad what happened.
Wow. Wow.
I'm going to do a joke about babies before we go. So,
okay.
So got to work that in. All right. When eating fish in some regions of China, it's bad luck to turn over your dinner. Flipping over the fish is said to correspond to the motion of capsizing a boat. And why would you flip over a fish? Well, if you're eating one in China, it's so you can see the other eye. Because they don't cut off the heads.
They don't.
Yeah.
A lot of these seem to have to do with ships and boating and fishing and.
You know the whole thing about
superstitious
eating
bunch.
a fish with the head still on it? What if we did the same thing but with deer?
Nah.
Nah, okay.
What? No, I was imitating the deer sitting there on the platter with its head going. Ah. Yeah. There's the whole thing about the pig with the apple in its mouth.
Yeah.
I've never actually seen that in person. I think that's mostly in cartoons and shows about medieval times.
Yes, I think so.
Yep.
I'm sure that apple in the mouth added a lot of flavor.
But the cheeks are quite delicious. Yep. Last one here, pointing at a rainbow. In some cultures, including the Navajo tradition, pointing at a rainbow would incur the wrath of the gods.
Wow, that's a strange one.
That is a strange one.
All right, we got guests coming, so I'm going to skip over the rest of the stuff because I really wanted to do these today, and they're not on your list. But these were the best texts of the week.
Okay.
First one. Got so high I thought I knew someone named Ian. Text that to anyone. Yeah, just random text somebody sent to a buddy. All right, here's a text between two people. I didn't ask for the attitude. The response? I know, it's on the house. All right, here's a text between me and my mother. I hate this escape room. Mom, stop calling the family reunion that.
It would be. I couldn't even imagine.
I will never understand people's fascination with their ancestry. Isn't knowing your current family bad enough?
Oh.
Wow.
Maybe some of the old dead ones are cooler. I'm just saying.
That's true.
I'm just
That's
saying.
true.
We've got some cool people in our family, but they all passed away a long time ago.
There could be, somebody in there that was really amazing. Yeah.
We have. I'm directly related to Hans Christian Andersen, the author.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Well, there you go. Proof. All right. Here's one between an employer and a prospective employee. Can you explain the gap in your resume? And the text back? Sure. Are you familiar with not getting jobs? I like this one from friend to friend. Canceled my therapy session to go to. I canceled my therapy session to go meet the reason for the therapy. Ha ha ha.
That's a complicated way of saying you're going to see your parents.
Yes.
Yep. Or your ex.
Or your ex.
Yeah.
All right. You may think there's no one for you, but there's laundry. Laundry is always there for you.
It never lets you down.
That's depressing. Here's one an employee sent to a friend. Just tried sorry, this is my first day to a customer's question. And he was like, I saw you here 2 weeks ago. Okay. And from a husband to a wife. Honey, put on your slutty dress, babe. We're going to Chili's. Wow.
Good old Chili's.
Good old Chili's. All right, last one, Chuck.
Okay.
Sorry, I said your toddler should be in a commercial for birth control. There you go. Best text of the week. And I have to agree. How about you, Chuck?
I do. That last one was horrible, but you've met You've met them.
It's a lot better than saying you got an ugly kid.
Right?
All right. We're just kidding around. All right, when we come back. It is Rockabilly Space Force, right, Chuck?
That is correct, sir. Yeah.
And when are they performing and where?
They are going to be performing this weekend at the Rusty Putter, happening from 5:30 to 7:30, July 20th. Yeah.
Stay right here. We'll be talking to the guys from Rockabilly Space Force. It's KCHW 102.7, and we are Northern Lights Public Radio.
Gentlemen, speaking aboard.
On a Saturday, in Half-Man, Half-Diddler was found dead in the backseat of his fetched limo.
He's dead, Jim. He's dead, Jim. Dead, Jim.
Okay, Scott, I'm muting us for just a second. We're still streaming, so everyone out there on Facebook, hello. You get the behind the scenes stuff here. Is there a way to make it so we can talk without this going out to the beautiful folks listening to us on Facebook?
No. You'll just have to chat with the band and let them hear it.
Okay, perfect. I'm
right.
gonna let them in
All
now.
right. All right.
See, all you guys listening, this is all the behind. This is the good stuff right here.
Yeah. We used to have that third sound card so you can do that, but remember, it caused everything to hiccup.
Yeah.
All right.
So we have 3 different folks joining us through Zoom. So this might be interesting to try to get all these people in on one call. All right, here they come. And the folks listening on Facebook don't get to listen to the news. Aw. All right. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Oh, there we are. Okay, I hear you. Excellent.
Sweet.
Excellent. And looks like we've got, Garen's. Yep, there we go. Okay, actually, that window works pretty well. You guys are going to be a little small on the screen for the video streaming, but I've got you on. And just so you know, we are streaming right now to everyone watching on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We're not going what we're saying right now is not going out over the air, but I'm going to send us down the line in just a minute, and we'll wait till the news is over. It'll be about 8 minutes, I think, because we got 4 minutes of news, and then we've got our sponsors coming up, and then we'll get back in the show, and you'll hear it when the music is playing. So good morning. Are you guys excited? I'm excited.
Totally.
That's cool. Yeah, I was. Like I said, I was checking you guys out. I love your stuff. I think it's you got a cool energy. I don't know are you guys familiar with the Aquabats?
Who?
The Aquabats. They're actually a ska band, and that's kind of the vibe that I get from you guys. They're a ska band, but instead of a space theme, they are like a superhero theme. Like
cool.
the lead singer is MC Bat Commander, and he's got like a blacked out tooth. And for a while, they even had a adventure show on Nickelodeon that was
wow,
it was like a spoof of like Power Rangers, but it was
Awesome.
it was like the Monkeys meets Power Rangers, and it was amazing. It was a goofy, silly show. It was more for the parents than the kids, but yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, it was a lot of fun. And is there anything that specific you guys want to talk about during the show, or we'll just play it by ear?
We can probably just start with Garen. Garen can talk about how we started, and then we can kind of go from there.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get us sent down the line here. I'm going to go back to our splash screen, and when the music comes up, we'll get you guys on.
Awesome.
All right. We'll see you guys in a few. But and this joining us. This is Scott.
Hey, Scott.
He started the station and ran it for years. He's joining us from Maine. So
Awesome.
So cool. I'm gonna switch over now, and we'll see you guys in a few.
Bye.
Thank you.
Seedlings regenerating.
The studies show that there are substantially fewer seedlings than in the past. I'm Suzanne Potter.
And advocates for academic freedom are battling in court against Florida's claim that a professor's speech is a government speech.
Arguments in the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, 11th Circuit, last month raised alarms when prominent attorney Charles J. Cooper, representing Florida, said the state can insist that professors not espouse and endorse viewpoints contrary to the state's. Adriana Novoa is a professor of Latin American history at the University of South Florida, who is challenging the Stop Woke Act and warns people should be very concerned.
It's indoctrination, which is ironic because that's what they say that we are doing right now. So basically, any governor is not only about this one, any governor in the future can decide what will be the viewpoints that will be promoted in the classroom.
The Stop Woke Act, struck down but under appeal, bans school instruction and workplace training suggesting privilege or oppression based on race, sex, or national origin. I'm Tremel Gomes.
Finally, our Joe Ulori lets us know a new initiative in Indiana is helping eliminate dangerous habitats in the homes of pregnant or parenting students.
The Stronger Tomorrows program teaches young parents how to avoid suffocation and strangulation dangers created in baby cribs and by bed sharing. Alma Figueroa is a case manager for Stronger Tomorrows and says her mission is clear: help students feel prepared and stay on track to graduate. The Stronger Tomorrows program also ensures they know their rights under Title IX and connects them to a vital community support.
If their babies are not okay, or if their home life, something is not going well at home, then we know that that's going to really affect their success in school. And so making sure that their babies are well, their parenting is essential for them to be successful.
Figueroa says Stronger Tomorrows is making a difference because of partners such as the Shepherd Community Center.
This is Mike Clifford for Public News Service, member and listener supported. Here's on great radio stations, your favorite podcast platform, and you can find our trust indicators at publicnewsservice.org.
Broadcasting from beautiful Chewelah, Washington, this is Northern Lights Public Radio, KCHW 102.7.
Good morning. Welcome back to the KCHW Morning Show. We just took our break there. We are back with myself, Chuck Ritchie, Scott Allen, and we have with us Rockabilly Space Force, who is performing this weekend up at the Chewelah Golf and Country Club. Good morning, everybody. How you doing?
Morning. We're doing great.
So it looks like we have clockwise, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. Top left, we have Andy B. But next to him, we have Robert Foley, and then we have, of course, our very own Scott Allen down below, and then Garen Hertel to the left there on the bottom.
All right, don't miss the wife and baby.
Oh yes, yes. I didn't. I
name
can't.
too.
I
What am I,
can't.
top liver?
I'm so sorry. And what is your name?
I'm Olivia Brownlee, and this is Phineas, and I'm in the band as well.
Oh
Phineas.
my goodness! Awesome. So it's a family affair.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that you showed Phineas, because I thought that was Chuck making baby sounds in the background.
Yeah, well, there's a few of us on here that have the same haircut. I just have mine under a hat. So,
Chuck, you're ageless.
I know,
wow.
Right? And I'm sorry for crying a little bit during the for fussing a little bit during the news. I my snacks were out of reach. I couldn't get them.
All right, we're so glad you guys crashed our Thursday show. And when Chuck told me, I checked you guys out online, got all excited, saw you guys in the helmets, and I don't know if you can see it. Just in honor of you guys, I did wear my Star Trek communicator, if you can see it there.
Nice. That's awesome.
Very cool.
Scott, you're pointing at the wrong side of your chest, which
I know everything's reversed when you're on the camera, and it confused me.
But you're actually physically wearing the badge, Scott.
Yes, I just needed to point to the badge. There it is, right there. Okay.
You're also on the bridge of the Enterprise, it looks like.
I am. That's for you guys too. All right. And then even some sound effects. If anybody says anything that doesn't make sense, you will hear this.
I don't know if you've got the whole picture or not, but he's not exactly working on all thrusters.
There you go.
All right. So
go ahead, Chuck.
Oh, so tell us a little bit about your band and how you got started. I guess, Garen, you said you were gonna take that on.
Sure. Yeah. We were all born several decades ago and started playing some music. And well, we all played in a jazz band together. And about 10 years ago, Robert started sort of egging me on. We need to play something a little bit more mainstream. And I didn't really want to buy more equipment, but Robert's pretty tenacious. So we I don't know, was it about 5 years ago now, I guess? We started learning rockabilly and really digging in and studying it and, just jamming together and tried to figure out, well, what are we going to do? And we in terms of the name of the band and how are we going to conceptualize all this? And Robert really had, again, Robert was really kind of the instigator of most of this. And he said, we should probably do a podcast. And that's that's really when kind of the whole vision around sci-fi and rockabilly, and we looked at, you know, like the 50s and how it was the beginning of the space age, and just a lot of fun connections started happening when we were going through all that. And and about the same time, of course, the United States government launched the Space Force, and so we thought that was kind of ripe for comedy. And
Yes, it
and we weren't
was.
really we weren't the only ones, because Steve Carell put a, you know, Netflix show together called Space Force, and he actually copyrighted the name Space Force before the U.S. military did, and so I guess there's some kind of copyright I don't know, mischief going on with that, but no one's called us, so we're the Rockabilly Space Force, and we have a 15 episode podcast that's basically just our adventures in space about 75 years from now, set in the future. And yeah, that's the Rockabilly Space Force, I guess. I mean, we play music from the 50s, you know, Buddy Holly and Chuck Berry and Elvis and Carl Perkins and all kinds of folks like that.
Very cool.
And even some originals.
Do you try to pick songs that are, and I think I saw a few of them on your website, like Man on the Moon, and do you try to pick songs that maybe have some kind of space theme or celestial bodies in them?
Yeah, we've tried to do that. That's the, you know, Walking on the Moon is a Police tune, and we kind of give it some rockabilly flavor. There's like a Johnny Cash kind of guitar line that goes throughout, and but yeah, we've looked at material, you know, that they call it astrobilly back in the 50s, like that there is actually a whole genre of music that's devoted to space themes.
So yeah, Olivia has written a song about Christmas on Mars, so
nice.
That's an original song.
Nice.
It's pretty awesome.
And you mentioned the podcast.
Christmas.
I do
Go
love
ahead, yeah.
I do love the that sort of the take of doing the futuristic show, but it's kind of has that 50s feel as well, which I think is a fun, unique little spin on the podcast. So it's kind of, you know, you kind of got the sound effects and stuff that kind of have that retro nostalgic sort of vibe.
Yeah, and I kind of fell in love with the music after I mean about 100 years ago saw the movie American Graffiti, right? So that was one of my favorite movies, and that's probably the first time I really got introduced to this genre, the early rock and roll music, and always loved it since then.
Yeah, that is. So what were some of your bigger influences within the genre? Who have you? Let me ask this. Let me clarify. Have you discovered people within the genre that you didn't know existed before, or that you really explored?
Yeah, and you know, Garen's always the best historian and fact finder, so you just ask him. He can probably just name all of them right off the tip of his tongue.
Well, yeah, I mean, for me, it's guitar heroes, right? So I'm always looking at. I mean, the first one for me was Buddy Holly, and that goes all the way back to my childhood. I loved Buddy Holly as a kid. And I wouldn't say that Buddy Holly is necessarily like a guitar hero. I really like his stuff because it's easy to learn. But you know, Carl Perkins and Scotty Moore and folks like that from the 50s, and Eddie Cochran. I mean, those are all folks that I study to try to get better at playing rockabilly. But you know, there's a whole attitude that goes along with it, and I think that's one thing that we've tried to focus on throughout. You know, is what is the rockabilly attitude, and you know, what does it mean in terms of you know, not just a podcast, but you know, playing on stage and having fun and making sure that everyone around us is having fun. And Andy's always trying to make sure that I'm having fun.
I'll stare at you while you're playing because you get in a zone, right? You get your blinders on and you have a blank face. And so I'll just stare at you for maybe 2 or 3 seconds before you realize we're looking at each other. And then you just kind of crack up while you're playing.
You remind him to smile and jazz hands? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Never forget the jazz hands.
That's a great choice, you know, as you guys kind of reinvented yourself. Because the one thing you got to say about rockabilly music as opposed to other rock music is rockabilly's danceable. which means fun and a party and getting people out and letting them enjoy themselves, right?
You're exactly right. So one of the things I thought about was I've never heard anybody not like this music.
Right.
You may not love it, it may not be your favorite, but it's very approachable. And anytime we play it for anybody, pretty much anybody likes what we're playing. It's the early days of rock and roll. It's very simple. The chord changes are simple. There's nothing bizarrely complex about it, and it's very approachable. And the lyrics are fun. So it just makes it really approachable. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to do this, is it just appeals to a lot of people.
Well, and I think
that's Robert at a video shoot in the background in his Zoom screen. I know
Nice.
that folks on the air probably can't see it, but he's riding his saxophone off into the sunset at a horse ranch. So
I did achieve at least a couple inches in the air jumping. So I just wanted to let you know that.
I see that. I see ground under your feet.
Yes.
Not Photoshop, huh?
I'm impressed. I can't do that.
So that's for a song, another song that Olivia wrote. So we should ask her about how she writes these things, because I have no idea.
Yes, please.
Well, usually it's from a prompt from the band leader. He's like, we need a song about Christmas coming twice a year on Mars, because Mars's orbit is like a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. So, he sent me some prompt sentences and facts, and I did some of my own research, and I was like, okay, that kind of writes itself. And A Good Horse, the one where Robert is pictured riding his saxophone like a horse. That is a song that was inspired by Garen's sister, actually, who at the time that we were needing a song. Yeah, he likes it too. She was riding her horse across America. She helps retired racehorses find a second career instead of being put out to pasture.
Cool.
And so we kind of made up a song about that to commemorate that, honor a family member, and also write a fun rockabilly song that we could include in the show.
Nice.
So, yeah, it all kind of worked out.
And along the way, Olivia, you've really learned how to play the upright, which you weren't doing right before, right?
No, my dad plays doghouse bass, but I've always been either guitar or electric bass or banjo, all the horizontal instruments. And so when Garen approached me in 2019 and was like, hey, do you have any interest in learning upright slap bass for a rockabilly project? I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And little did I know, it's really hard.
How could you say no to that? I mean, that sentence alone right there, I don't even know how to play any of that. And I would say, yeah, sure. I'm in.
But it's a skill. Yeah, sorry.
I was just saying, Olivia, can you give us the hook from the Christmas on Mars song?
Yeah. When you're on the red planet, no matter how you plan it, Christmas comes but twice a year. And the old folks remember a time we called December before we landed way up here, et cetera, et cetera.
Nice.
So can you send us an MP3 of that so we can add it to our Christmas list?
Yeah, talk to the band later. I think that'd be awesome.
Yes.
And we really need a good 50s and 60s local show. Do you guys all live in the area, I'm going to guess?
Oh, except for...
Almost. We're missing one member today. He's in Hawaii, but he's going to pop over here in the next week. So, yeah, fancy.
So file that away in the back of your head. We always need we need a good 50s and 60s show. We carry a lot of syndicated stuff to meet our goal of 20 different genres in a week.
Oh, wow.
But it would be really cool to have something that's locally produced. I don't know, in your podcast, is this acting? Is it music? Explain the podcast and what people would experience if they were to watch one on YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, it's basically a 1950s radio drama comedy, I guess. And so there's definitely acting as best we can. Some of us are trained actors and some of us are not. And I guess I'll let the audience decide who they can like.
Olivia.
They can figure out who that is.
Olivia.
But there's basically we thought of different situations that made us laugh, and those became inspiration for different episodes. And so, like, for instance, there's an episode where Buddy, the band leader, that's me, I meet Elvis, who's been cloned by this space corporation, and he's been doing shows in outer space. And I meet him at a bar, and he's kind of down on his luck, and I think, oh, this is a great opportunity for us. So I bring him back to the base, and everyone's like, "Where'd you find the Elvis impersonator?" And I'm like, "No, this is really Elvis," you know. And so he turns into kind of a diva. And anyway, I don't want to ruin the whole episode for everyone, but so you know, we just deal with themes that we've found to be fun and funny, and sometimes maybe challenging in band life. And dealing with divas is sometimes difficult, as we all know.
To make it simple,
I have to deal with Scott all the time.
Our phrase has been serious fun, right? So we want to be serious and play well. We want to have a whole lot of fun while we're doing it. And the podcast follows that, right? So when you talked about the monkeys, we didn't quite go that far. We wanted to make sure that it's a serious topic, but it sure is fun and goofy. I have a French accent in it, so there you go. And it's a whole lot of it's fun. Actually, you should listen to some of the podcasts. They're actually pretty good.
I listened to the first one, and I started the second one. I haven't had a chance to get back to it, but yeah, I really did enjoy it. And I know I'd contacted, I can't remember which, the emails I got just came from Rockabilly Space Force. I don't know who it was I was actually emailing back and forth with. Okay. And I talked with you a little bit about maybe even airing those at a certain time on the radio. He said there might be some spicy language in there. But maybe I glossed over it, or maybe I should listen again.
Yeah,
but
the first episode doesn't really have a lot of foul language, but there are definitely some episodes that do.
So and Andy's the drummer. I want to hear from him what's the difference in playing rockabilly from the other stuff he's played before, because he's been in a bunch of different bands.
Yeah,
it was really interesting starting this one, because kind of like you, Robert, I didn't know too much about rockabilly before starting it. In fact, when I heard the pitch, aside from, hey, this is a cool space thing, I was kind of on the fence. But then diving in and hearing, like, Chuck Berry and like just the performances from the era, it turned something on. I got it. But I've been in everything from like jazz bands, indie rock, heavy rock, and the way to approach like early rock and roll has like a blend of everything. It's not really straight, it's not really tight, it's kind of loose and fun, but also still a little bit technical. So a lot like Olivia here learning the bass, I felt like I had to like approach my instrument a little bit differently, and then it kind of leads to a band sound, which I think Rockabilly Space Force is kind of converging on that energetic rockabilly fun, so it's been a journey, but it's been fantastic.
Nice. And Andy was in the drum line at Wazoo, which means you have to know how to play and be really solid on the beat. So I'm sure it's just a little bit, and he likes the raw edge, right? Andy always said, I like something a little raw, a little somewhat unproduced, right?
Yeah, a little tarnished, just a little bit in the right spots.
Oh yeah. So I have a question. You mentioned Walking on the Moon, a Police song, sort of. I personally love the sort of genre bending music, like postmodern jukebox, hearing a bunch, ska music, ska remakes of classic songs. Do you guys prefer? I mean, how is it doing original rockabilly music from the genre versus basically changing other songs to meet the rockabilly genre? Did that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, wouldn't say that we have necessarily a preference of one over the other. I'm careful not to go too far into the postmodern jukebox realm, just because there's a group called the Baseballs, for instance, from Germany, and that's all they do is basically they turn pop songs from today or the 80s or whenever into rockabilly songs, and they're pretty good at it. But I think we all have a variety of interests, and so it's first and foremost just kind of honoring all those interests within the band, and then also kind of finding songs that mean something to us personally, that wouldn't it be fun if we did X with this song? And that's kind of what happened with Walking on the Moon, was just like, hey, we need some more songs that have some space themes in them. And let's find something that somebody out, that a general audience in the world is going to really enjoy. And then see what happens with it, and that one happened to work out. Sometimes they don't work out,
Right.
And so that's kind of the danger of those songs, is sometimes you put a lot of work into it and it doesn't necessarily pay off.
And there's kind of two ways we approach it. If it's an existing song, we'll listen, but we're not trying to copy what's there. And if we have an original, like from Olivia, she'll actually kind of just strum through it and sing and said, why don't we just get started and try to figure out what it looks like? So it's actually really an organic process. She's very open to that, where she'll just play the guitar, get through the song, and then we'll start just trying to play around it. So we're trying to figure out what that sound is for us, and whether it's a new one, or an existing one that's out there. We're not trying to copy from the originals, or if we're doing something new, we're just organically trying to figure it out. So it's actually quite a bit of fun.
Right. Well, that's cool. So tell us, you're playing here this weekend, and I saw on your website you've got quite a busy schedule. What else do you have coming up in the near future after this?
Yeah, we have, well, like we said, our one of our band members is from Maui, and so he's coming to the mainland, and he'll be performing with us. So we have dates from like July 26th to roughly August 3rd. We play at Zola in Spokane, and then we play at, there's a Riverstone concert series in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, that's pretty popular, that we're playing at that. And then probably the big event is we're playing for the Kettle River Music Festival over in Curlew on August 3rd, and we're headlining that festival. So yeah, there's a lot of events, and whenever Dan comes to the mainland, we try to basically, we have a gig, whether it's with Rockabilly Space Force or with some of our other bands. We're basically playing every day that he's in town, and he's here for like 12 days. So cool. Like 11 gigs in 12 days.
Wow. Yeah.
You can find all that information relevant to the Rockabilly Space Force, of course, at rockabillyspaceforce.com. He won't be with us at the Chewelah gig, just so everyone knows. And then, when we have we don't have anything planned for fall yet, but next spring, Dan is coming back, and we have a couple shows lined up in Boise, Idaho. And so we might have some dates farther afield, maybe Northern California or Oregon or something like that, that we sort of, basically what happens is you try to find a foundational gig, some sort of anchor gig, and then you build a tour around it.
Well, I know in Chewelah we have Fall Fest coming up in the fall, and then Winterfest coming up in late January, early February next year. I don't think we have a date picked yet, but I happen to know the guy that's arranging those lineups for those shows. So, yeah, if you're willing to come back in, I think September is when we're doing Fall Fest. We could talk about that. Yeah,
Andy and I go skiing at 49.
Yeah, there you go. And it's it's such a long drive anyway, so.
So you guys must have day jobs that you have to work around this. Yeah,
I was going to ask that. Yeah.
You want to share?
They're like, nope.
I work in IT.
In IT. All right.
Yeah.
You're looking at my day job.
Nice.
No. She's the creative. The rest of us just kind of hang out. So she's the creative of the group.
All right.
Yeah, it's a fun smattering of occupations. I mean, I'm doing engineering, some more of like a regular 9-to-5 job, and then Olivia, when she's not momming, is doing all sorts of music and arts, and so a bit more free schedule. So it's interesting to have such a shared passion that takes a lot of energy. It's a different balance from each of the members, depending on what their day job is.
Well, of course, we all know
you guys
Olivia
must be
there
a couple.
Yeah.
Is that right, Andy and Olivia? You guys are a couple?
Yeah, we may have met before.
Okay. You just handled that baby like it was yours, so I thought maybe. All right. Well, so excited you guys are coming to town. Is there anything, you know, when this is over with that you go, gosh, I wish they would have asked us this?
To go on a national tour.
I don't know if I can arrange that.
Robert.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys need a good manager. I'm not volunteering because I have no idea what I'm doing. But
book shows would be amazing. That'd be a fun addition to the group.
Well, stay in touch with Chuck because he's definitely working some regional connections for music. We also like to do little benefit shows for the radio station. If you guys are around and Chuck's at the studios, you could arrange something to see it. We've got a nice little intimate theater. We've got about 45 of what we like to call the cushiest seats in Chihuahua. It's very nice. The room's set up where you can do a seminar or we can have a live show. We've even done radio theater. If you wanted to do sometime a live Space Force show and broadcast it from our studio or something with a live audience. We've got that room is very, very versatile. And when we're doing a live show, we've got those 45 chairs. We can push it up to 60 by borrowing some chairs and shoving in there. But it makes for a really intimate concert. We usually try to do a couple of different bands with different genres of music, and because that's what the station does, and just kind of fulfill that through the theater as well. And the small crowds are very, you know, I'd be worried if I was in a band going, we're playing a show and it's only 60 people. You guys have probably played a show where it didn't have a good turnout before. I think everybody has at one time or another. What? But you will find at one of our shows, you'll have, 45 to 60 of the most enthusiastic people that appreciate you playing for them that you could find. It's been, we stopped when COVID hit and Chuck just fired it back up again. But we were trying to do a show every 3 months so that we would have a live performance in the theater once a quarter. And I think Chuck's trying to work his way back to that. And before, I used to just beg people to come play for free because the radio station needed money so bad, because we're nonprofit, we're 501c, we survive by donations, grants, and the goodwill of people in our community. And but Chuck has changed that model to where if you come play a show for us, you'll actually get paid too.
Yeah,
sold.
We split the admission costs with half of it goes to a fundraiser for the radio station, and then the rest gets split between the main band and the opening band.
Great.
So
it's a great deal.
It's a benefit for the station, and you guys get a live broadcast on the air, and generally a pretty decent recording of the show afterwards, and it's a fun time. And personally, I'm a huge fan of small venues. From a concert goer viewpoint, I've gone to a couple of shows at the big arena in Spokane, and I just don't enjoy them. They're so impersonal, they're so cold, the sound is bad, but you get in a small theater, and really where you just feel like you're part of the show, and I just find that so much more enjoyable.
Yeah, the band gets a part of that too.
Yeah.
Like one of the reasons why I play is the intimacy between performance and listener. So the smaller venues, you just feel like you're tied in. It's great to be on the band stage in a smaller spot.
It really is. Yeah, you get that connection that you don't get otherwise.
Yeah, we play here in Spokane at a place called Hamilton Studio with our other bands, and it's no more than 100 people. Fit in that room. And so basically I got into music visiting clubs in New Orleans that had about a capacity of 45 to 60 people. So I love small venues.
Yeah Like I said, I think you get so much more back, that back and forth, and then you get to meet people and have those conversations afterwards. I think I find it enjoyable. So
yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
All right. Big thank you for you guys for being here today, and just stay in touch with the radio station. We'd like to know where you are. On our website, we've got a way that you could send in a notice saying, "Hey, we're playing here this weekend," and just let us know where you're up to. Stay in touch if you want to perform in Chihuahua again. And then a big thank you to Garen, Robert, Andy, and Olivia. Did I get them all right?
Nailed it.
Did.
There you go.
All right, Rockabilly Space Force, Saturday night, the 20th, 5:30 to 7:30 at the Rusty Putter Bar and Grill at the Cheweel Golf and Country Club. Don't forget their website, and I'll come back to you, Garen. Don't forget their website, rockabillyspaceforce.com, and they've got some podcasts on YouTube that I'm definitely going to go check out, guys. And Garen, what did you want to say?
Really quick, a correction for the time. We're starting at 7:30 on Saturday.
Oh, thank you very much.
okay.
That's what they had on the calendar. So 7:30 until
9:30.
9:30.
Okay. Oh, they even have that on they even have 5:30 on the poster.
Have you guys played up there before?
No, and the reason for the change is just it's going to be like 100 degrees on Saturday, and so they wanted to move it back just to cool things off a little bit. Yeah.
That's not correct. It's going to be 103 degrees on Saturday, Garen.
Yeah, I was marketing it down a little bit, so what didn't sound so extreme.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Are you guys playing are you playing out on the patio or are you playing inside?
We're outside. Yeah.
Oh, and have you guys played there before?
No.
No, you're going to love it. It is absolutely beautiful. The patio is awesome. I think people are going to dig this. I hope you guys have a great show.
It is.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah,
thanks for having us on the show.
No problem. Thank you guys so much for coming. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to bring my wife. So hopefully we'll get to meet you guys there. Yeah.
All right, big round of applause for all you Rockabilly Space Force. Once again this weekend, let's correct it, Saturday night, 7:30 to 9:30, Rusty Putter Bar and Grill at the Cheweel Golf and Country Club. Big round of applause. Thanks for being here, guys.
And we'll talk more about doing a live show or something here. That'd be great. Even a theatrical production, maybe. Ooh. Here I'm making plans for you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming.
All right, as we cut the band loose, me and Chuck are going to wrap up this show with today's odd news stories.
Slap some bacon on a biscuit and let's go. We're burning daylight.
It's the world of strange. A world gone wacky.
Out here, due process is a bullet.
And some of the scariest people on the planet.
I think you're bluffing. Be afraid.
You look mighty pretty when you get mad.
It's your odd news on KCHW.
Just sit back and enjoy the show.
All right, wrapping up the Thursday edition of your KCHW Morning Show with odd news. We always kick it off with the news attack. First sentence true, second sentence a really, really bad joke, and Chuck Ritchie gets to kick it off.
All right. Some Texans are responding to hurricane power outages by assaulting utility workers who are trying to restore their power. Because nothing screams Texas hospitality like a boot to the line worker trying to get your Netflix back on.
Wow.
Really? How does that make sense? So,
oh, man.
The hurricane knocked the power out, so you're assaulting the people trying to get your power back on because you're mad that you don't have power?
This is the state, though, that made it legal to shoot down any drone you see, so not a surprise. All right. Street in Wales, was named the world's steepest. It's so steep that once, when a snowball began rolling down from the top, by the time it got to the bottom, it was big enough to take out a Walmart. Yeah. Wow. I like to see it.
There's that one, I think it's in Wales, somewhere nearby. They do the cheese roll. Have you ever seen that? Where they roll the cheese down the hill and they race after it, and every year somebody usually dies or something.
It's like running with the bulls.
Yeah, only more dangerous. Who knew cheese is more dangerous than bulls? I guess my doctor does. We've known for a while that prolonged sitting day after day contributes to serious chronic illnesses such as heart disease and diabetes. But a study finds that people who are physically fit generally ward off those diseases despite having a desk job. However, if you get out of breath adjusting your office chair, you might be in trouble.
All right. Hey, get this. Some space experts think there's a 1 in 1,000 chance that a comet or asteroid will crash to Earth in the next century, killing billions of us.
Wow.
The upside would be shorter lines at Disney World.
Unless it hits Disney World, then it's gone.
Ah, okay.
That's a pleasant thought for the day.
Sorry.
This next study found that whales are not depleting the world's fish stocks despite their enormous appetites. According to the study, the only whales that are depleting the fish stocks are the ones waddling into Red Lobster for all-you-can-eat shrimp, lobster, and crabs.
Oh, that was a fat joke, Chuck.
That
Wow.
was a fat joke. You noticed me hesitating there.
You did hesitate. I would have went full on, though. You know me. All right. Researchers say you can predict a relationship's success based on a couple's speaking style. So if a couple speaks softly to one another, things are probably good. If a couple prefers to communicate via throwing shoes, probably a problem.
Wasn't that W somebody threw a shoe at in a press conference?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody, a reporter threw a shoe at him.
Yeah.
At George Jr. Yeah.
It would have been funnier if George W. did the shoe throwing.
The funny thing was he picked it up and smelt it.
Stuck it in his pocket.
Then took it.
Another study, if you can imagine that, it says the handles on our kitchen appliances are the grossest, germiest things in our house. Not mine, though. I've trained my dog to lick the spilled food off the oven handle. You know, I've actually heard that our cell phones are one of the dirtiest things we touch. Makes sense.
I was reading ahead. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, I've heard that too, and I see people taking them into the bathroom all the time. Don't do that.
Yeah, right. What
That's
else are you
why I don't
gonna do?
borrow
Read the
cell phone.
shampoo bottle?
Yes. Anything. All right. I don't know if I should do the woman. I'm going to do it anyways. Anthropologists found that our ancestors made it outside of the species 3 times. That must have been quite a weekend. Wow.
I'm glad you did that one, Scott.
Remember, first part is true. Second part, bad joke. Yeah.
That one was a good joke.
Good joke. All right. Wait till you get these. They're kind of short today, but they're all pretty good. It's wacky but true. We don't add anything to these stories except a sound effect from a movie or a television show, maybe several of them, because the truth is totally contained. And here comes Chuck again.
So a man in China found a roach in his salad. The waitress told him it was perfectly common and there was nothing to worry about. When he sarcastically asked if she would bite into the insect, she scooped it off his plate and gulped it down.
You know, I got a brother in pest control. I'll give you his number. You blindfold him, bring him on over. He'll nuke every last cockroach and mosquito in this gun.
I see what's happening next door and down the block. Belly hanging down, 5 kids, cockroaches in the cupboard.
Let me get a bubonic moose nose omelet with cockroach paste and mouse jelly. Oh, and with egg whites.
That's funny. I've never known a cockroach with good taste. But I've known plenty that taste good.
Okay, then. I'm suddenly not hungry anymore. A Chinese man discovered his wife's infidelity by using a drone to spy on her during work hours. Suspecting that his wife was cheating with her boss, the man controlled the drone from a safe distance to capture the shocking evidence. Drone footage revealed his wife leaving her office with a mystery man, driving to a secluded location, and engaging in intimate activities. Man turned out to be her boss.
Wow.
This awful-looking thing happens to be my wife.
Get back, witch!
I'm not a witch, I'm your wife. But after what you just said, I'm not even sure I want to be that anymore.
Well, Debbie was a very lucky woman.
You know...
Who's Debbie?
Your wife.
Say goodbye to wife and tater tots.
However, if there is any attempt by either contestant to cheat, especially with my wife, who is a dirty, dirty tramp, I am just gonna snap. Do I make myself clear?
Oh, Howard, excuse me, but your wife's cookies are out of this world.
You know, I gotta say though, the who's really at fault here? Because the type of person that would spy on their wife with a drone seems like the type of person that might deserve to get cheated on. I'm putting it out there.
Just saying.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you need to know.
Yeah, that's true. But maybe there's a reason she did that, or maybe there's a reason he's using the drone. I don't know.
Could be.
I'm just saying. Don't spy on your wife with a drone. Okay. So the next one here, a Nashville man found himself in trouble with the law after a heated dispute with his roommate at their apartment. The altercation reportedly stemmed from Nathaniel Parker's frustration with Dalen, that's an interesting name, Turrentine's lack of contribution around the house due to unemployment. When police arrived at the scene, they discovered the aftermath of a physical altercation, including missing patches of hair on both men's heads.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
So kind of like Anchorman.
Now, before we do this, let's go over the ground rules. Rule number 1. No touching of the hair or face.
Of course.
And that's it. Now let's do this.
Didn't go so well.
Brock killed a man. Yeah.
Yeah, I threw a trident and it killed a man. Sorry. We both like that movie way too much.
That movie is so funny. It's so stupid, but it's so funny. Yeah.
It is. It is.
Yep.
So I don't know if you noticed, but there's Anchorman 1, Anchorman 2. Then there's Anchorman 2.2, which they don't show anywhere anymore, which is all the cut footage from Anchorman 2. There was enough to do another 2-hour movie.
Wow.
With a different storyline.
Anchorman 2, they pretty much just did all the jokes over again.
Yeah. Same thing with 2.2, but yeah.
And not even really in a different way. They just kind of did all the jokes over again.
All right. In Norway, lost story. A large woman drank so much that she lost her balance and fell into one of her kitchen chairs. She got stuck between the armrests, too. She managed to grab her phone, though, and call for help, explaining that her legs were getting numb and she couldn't stand up. Rescue workers couldn't pry her loose from the chair and ended up having to break it to get her free. Once she regained the feeling in her legs, they helped her to her bedroom, where her husband was sound asleep.
Wow.
Oh. And perhaps the funnest sound effects of the day.
Does it always kill them in the chair?
Well, I've never heard of it failing.
Someone's been sitting in my chair, and it got broke. Somebody broke my chair.
Chair's been dusted.
The new all-purpose guest chair adjusts itself to fit any type visitor. For the tall, for the short, and for the mother-in-law.
Oh my gosh, somebody broke my chair.
Yeah. All right. That is our show for today. I always ask Chuck this question. Chuck,
yes,
what's
sir.
on the radio tonight on KCHW?
Tonight we have from 6 to 8 p.m. Out of the Woods. Then from 8 to 9 p.m. is Kelton a Twist. Then we're going to get an Acoustic Cafe from 9 to 11 p.m. tonight.
Right.
So tune in for that.
And tomorrow on the morning show?
Tomorrow on the morning show, it is going to be myself and Craig McQuain and Paula Randall joining us on the morning show. It'll be the first time with the three of us. Paula had her play that she was getting ready for next week. But it should be a lot of fun. Last week we had Craig for the first time, and he's going to make his I guess we'll call it the second debut, where he actually might know what he's doing this week.
All right. So you've
I'm not
got a
saying he
woman
didn't last week.
under control.
Yeah, I'm not saying he didn't last week. It's always fun to come in your first day and be like, okay, read this stuff on the computer screen. So
that's not very nice, Chuck.
No.
You just kind of threw him to the wolves, didn't you?
Yeah, we kind of did. He was busy, and we didn't have much of a chance to sit down and really rehearse or do anything. But that was the rehearsal last week, and now he's back, which I'm excited for. I really like
Cool.
Craig. He's a good guy, especially very well known and respected in the music industry here around town, around the area, not just town. So we're lucky to have him. We really truly are.
All right. What a great addition. And you can catch all three of them tomorrow. Paul will keep them in line right here on KCHW 102.7 and online on our web platforms, too. Don't forget you can watch and listen through those. Other than that, Chuck, before you hit the outro music, I would like to play one more sound effect.
Okay.
And then you can press the button.
Okay.
All right. Have a great day. Keep on listening to Northern Lights Public Radio. And this important message.
On a sadder note, Pizza the Hut, famed half-man, half-pizza, was found dead earlier today in the backseat of his stretched limo.
And he was delicious. All right, thank you so much.
Pizza the Hut was delicious.
Space, the final frontier.
Come on, get me aboard.
Dead, Jim. He's dead, Jim. He's dead, Jim. Dead, Jim.
Shut up, Wesley.
Aww.
ends the broadcast from World Control.